Broadcasting. Listen.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Leicester TV Radio. Today is Thursday, the 7th day of the 7th month of the 22nd year in the million. Okay, so it is 7th 7 2022. Okay, and 5 minutes behind schedule, but I'm sorry. Lord Mayor, good morning to everybody there. Fermi, you're back again today. Good to have you. I know that everybody's busy. As have you noticed the traffic in this Aja to Lekki axis? I resigned from my school yesterday. I'm not going again. I'm done. Okay, I'm going to be doing it via zone. I can't die. My knee still hurts from staying in the traffic yesterday. God. Oh, I'm so it took my I left here very early. Normally it's a on a free road, it's a 17-20 minutes drive. Took me 3 hours and 47 minutes to get to my school. As a matter of fact, my class had ended before I got there. They just had to like create chance for me to have another hour with the children. It was great to the young people. I'm not calling them youth children. 17 to 25 are not children anymore. They are all adults. Okay, and it was good because I had the opportunity to also hear some of the stories that man. Why do uncles always rape? I don't know. I don't want to talk about that right now, but people should just be careful. People should just be careful with who they leave their daughters with because the girl child is a lot. I'm not saying that the male child are not vulnerable, but I think the girl child is a lot more vulnerable. And parents don't listen when they say, uh, somebody raped me, somebody touched me like this, somebody did this to me. Parents don't listen. Please be careful who you're leaving your children with, okay? And then uncles, bros, because when you bring your friends to the house, be careful how you leave them and say, "Oh, I'm going to the shop to go and buy things." How you leave them with your children, your nieces and nephews, and it's a terrible world that we're living in. The stories that I get from those children sometimes that they just really, really break my heart. Like you can hear me, why? Why can't you hear me on Instagram? Really? There is no, I don't know. There's no, I didn't put any stop to it, so it's not muted. If you're not hearing me, I think it's your side. Increase your volume, raise your volume up. I think you will hear. Can any other person on Instagram convince me whether they can hear or they can hear me? So, like I was saying, just be careful who you leave your children with. Just be careful, your girl child, especially who you leave them with, because you might just raise a broken child that will grow up to become a broken adult and then will go into marriage and be a disaster to society. So please, these children that God has given to us to raise, and I know we need money, like I crazily, desperately need money to fix a whole lot of things. I can't even buy a phone for this studio, so tells you how bad things are for now. Okay, we need this money, we need the resources, but are we not working this money for these children? So if we're working this money for these children and to take care of them, let's also learn to be there for them. And then again, let's stop using bad words for our children. Let's stop saying things like you're useless, you're stupid, you would never make it, you're just a waste of time. These things stick to them most time. Just love them, give them a hug, tell them they're beautiful. It doesn't mean you wouldn't discipline them, it doesn't mean you won't tell them when they do wrong, but there's a whole lot of ways to do it with love. That's just what I think I should pass across because, looking at so I have about 50 students that I mentor, and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, the stories that I hear is actually helping me to be a better father because sometimes all of these problems start with the home. Mom is busy looking for a career, dad is busy looking for money, and then at the end of the day, these children are growing up. The parents don't even have anything to show. They are still poor, they're still broke. So why do all of that? Uh, 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 It's crazy anyway. It's crazy, but let's just move on. Okay, so let's come into the sporting arena. Let's talk sports. Let's bounce off on all of the sporting conversation that's going on. So I want to throw this question out there. If you're a Chelsea fan, get involved in it. If you're not a Chelsea fan, even get involved in it. Is Raheem Sterling? So there is the need. Manchester City signed Erling Haaland. That's a need. They need a striker. Even though they managed to win the title last season, they could jolly well have lost it all. And looking at how they played in the Champions League against Bayern, I mean against Real Madrid, you could argue that if there was a striker in that team, just maybe, I'm not saying they would have won, but there's a striker in that team, all those chances that Grealish was wasting, the striker will be a lot more composed, more calm, and do a better job with it. But they didn't do that. So they got knocked out. Also got knocked out in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup. Now my question is, as a club, they went straight and got a striker because they realized that they needed a striker. They didn't even get only one, they got another, they got two, and you know, opened the door to let Gabriel Jesus go. Because Jesus was not performing the miracle signs and wonders. Maybe he can do it at Arsenal, but he wasn't performing it there. Now, having said that, this is where I'm asking. Chelsea last season, biggest problem was the fact that what's it called, Lukaku or Lukaka did not click, and because of that, they didn't get the amount of goal return that you expect them to get. Now, my question is, do you think that Raheem Sterling is the guy that they need? Okay, uh, to solve that problem, is a priority? Is it a need or a want? That's what I need. I need you guys to talk about. And then if you are on the Chelsea side, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're on the board, you're a director, would you be excited about signing Cristiano Ronaldo, knowing how it's gone with Juventus, it's gone with Manchester United, and the squad that you've got? Do you think you have a squad that can, give him the breadth of fresh air, the kind of support system that will make him perform the way he would naturally want to perform? That's something that I want us to look into. So tell me what you think. Is Raheem Sterling the need, or they just buying in because some other people are signing players and then they too want to sign that player so that it doesn't look like, oh, they are lost in transit. So let them just get active in the transfer window so that nobody think that uh, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So that's what I need you guys to help me talk about this morning. And then another question I'm asking, I think this is my thought now. I think that Bernardo Silva is one of the most important player at Manchester City. Okay, now there is a talk that, oh, Bernardo Silva might be leaving. Do you think that Man City will regret it if they let Bernardo Silva go? Okay, and then fans do some things that are amazing. You buy a jersey, you tell them to put the name of your favorite player that's playing in your club, and one day the player is now moving to another club or probably refuse to come play for your club, and then you go and burn the jersey. Please, who's losing? Is it not your money that you used to buy the jersey? Is it not your own thing? So why are you struggling? So why are you burning your jersey? Why do fans behave like that? And let's not forget that the Super Falcons have a game today to keep their African Cup of Nations hope for the 10th trophy alive. I have said this before. I'm going to say we're playing against Botswana. Burundi play against South Africa today. And I've said this before that even if, for instance, I'm not praying for it, but hypothetically it does happen that the Falcons lose all their group game and go out, I'm still going to love them because they have done way, way, way more than enough to earn my respect as a team that have earned the right to fail and not get, jeered or booed or banter or, that kind of stuff. And some people say, oh, I'm saying that to make excuse for them. That might be the way you see it, but it's just my own position on the matter. You can also have your own say, your own position on the matter, so it doesn't look like I'm the only one. I'm forcing this conversation on you people. But all of these are on the shopping board this morning for the sports buffet. And You could also, today's Thursday, you know how it is, you could mix it with a whole lot of other things, other talking point, other conversation, observation, opinions, questions, and all of that. So let's start with Instagram. Emmanuel Praise, he says, we can, okay, that's been taken care of. Faremi 14 says, hearing you loud and clear, okay, and hey, amazing fruit chicken, how ma? Fruit kitchen, so I keep saying chicken, kitchen, fruit kitchen. You have to bring that fruit to this studio. Let me have a taste of it and then talk about it on this show. Finally, says Sterling won't solve all the scoring problem, but he will help. If you look at his numbers, I think he gives more than the Chelsea front man. I agree with you on that one. That Omar Waye says Sterling will fit well with anything that can play the tripod or 3-arrow striker, a striking force pattern. Okay, recall Sterling when he played with Suarez and Sturridge at Liverpool that year, he did very well. Okay, I agree with you on that one as well. Chelsea want to sign Raheem Sterling to add to the players pool, not necessarily in need. Odion is still trying in that. Oh, is it Odion? Odoi, maybe that's what you want to write. Or it's Odion you wrote anyway. Odoi is still trying in that right wing. Chelsea only want to be active in the market, not necessarily getting the job done. Well, that's according to Saviki on Instagram. Let me go to YouTube and see what you guys are saying. I'm a little bit subdued, right? I'm a little bit like overwhelmed by the stories that I heard yesterday. I mean, I was just crying, shedding tears, and surviving the agony of these children. What people within the age of 17 and 25. I'm 44, right? And I assume that I've had my fair share of pain and torture or abuse growing up. But I mean, I have a boy that was serially not girl, a boy that was serially abused, raped from the age of 7 or so. He's 21 now. He's a father. He doesn't understand gender. Doesn't understand whether it's a boy or it's a girl. Like, he doesn't understand it because of how uncle and other people in the family have done that. I have like multiple girls that have been raped, abused, sexually. God help us. God help us. That's what I can say. Okay, so on YouTube, I have not been saying good morning, boss. Good morning to you. And he went on to say, boss, if you become Lagos State Governor, how will you solve the traffic issue? No, I can't become Lagos State Governor. So I'm not eligible. Let's not even raise conversation that I can. But I can advise. So the problem with Lagos State earn a lot of IGRs, but Lagos State spends the money in the hands of crook. One of the ways to fix this problem let's take the island, because the island traffic now is becoming crazy. But it's not just a Lagos thing. You can't solve it. Even if you expand all the road network, there's still going to be problem in Lagos. So one of the problems with Nigeria is the non-saturation of development. So as Lagos is, if you put a direct train that comes from Ikorodu to Ekpe or to Ijebu-Ode, and another train that comes from Badagry that links up as well, then another one that comes from Ikeja that links up with that train line. Now, what that does for you, and then you invest heavily on building the coastal road. Now, by the coastal road, I am saying that you build a coastal road that will run from, let's say, Apapa all the way down to Ekpe, and then it continues to go till it terminates in Calabar. What that does for you is, if you have a train that can come from Ijebu-Ode to Lagos, to Ikeja, maybe an hour or 45 minutes, or let's say an hour, 30 minutes, 90 minutes. Most of the people that are living in Lagos today would live in the outskirts of the town. Okay, then they will come from the outskirts of the town to come and work. And then you will not have everybody pumping their cars on the road. One, it will remove greenhouse emission. It would reduce congestion on the road. It would also ease the burden of spending too much on fuel and spending too much on that, because all you need now is a card where you load your card with as much money as possible, and then anytime you enter the train, just like in Dubai, okay, anytime you enter the train, you tap it and you go. Government is making money. There's enough money to service Trains are not something that you service the train track every day. Okay, if you build a solid train track, it can be there for years. Okay, so that's one way I would suggest, because I'm from Delta State. I was born in Benin, raised in the UK, then grew up again in Warri. So I'm practically not even eligible to be governor of any state in this country. Like, if we go by, leave all these old systems that we operate, but if we go by birth and the rest of them, I'm not I'm not an indigenous of Edo State. I'm a Robo, but I'm just might not be eligible to be governor of any state. But that's a suggestion that I think would work. And then we start building the neighboring towns. Another thing that can reduce traffic from Lagos is the seaport. Okay, now you have the Dangote refinery coming here. There is a seaport in Apapa. They should decongest the seaport. Okay, Warri port should come back to life. The Calabar port should come back to life. There should be a seaport somewhere around that on nature, access the Niger River, Niger Bridge around that area, whether it's a dry port or something, but they should decongest it. And then around that Escravos, if we're really serious as a country, around that Escravos by boat is about 45 minutes to 1 hour from Lagos, right? So around that Escravos, we can dredge an open field and put another port there where you drop cargo and then you now distribute it with a smaller vessels across the channel, across the different countries in the south, states in the south and in the southeast, as well up to Lagos and beyond. That would reduce traffic a whole lot. If I have the job opportunities, or the opportunities that I have in Lagos, if I have it in Delta State, I'll go and stay in Delta State. Lagos is not really, I've never fit into Lagos. So that's one way we can fix the problem. The thing about, if you look at America, for instance, America, in New York, you live in New York is fine. Atlanta, there is opportunities in Atlanta, there's opportunity in California, there's opportunity in Chicago, in Georgia, everywhere. So we should create, it cannot be equal, but we should create a balance in opportunity distribution. If we do that, people will not even be talking of seceding. I want to break away. Break away is not really a thing. Is the thought that, some things are not getting to us, so we're not benefiting from some things that is making people think like that. If we seriously put a 10-year working plan in place and say we want to achieve all of this, these things are achievable. They are not impossible. They are not rocket science. And then you fix electricity. Let's not forget that most of the time, look at Lagos, for instance, everybody goes to the island to go and work. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Everybody's office wants to be on the island. So every day, everybody's, going to that area to go and work. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense anyway. So as a place, we should start thinking, how to expand. They're building Eco Atlantic now. Eco Atlantic should have both the residential side and the business side. So that if you're there, your work and everything will be within that space. Okay? And the same thing for almost every other side. I think it will work. Might not make sense to a lot of people. I'm not really a politician, but I'm just thinking of structurally. I mean, I'm still an engineer. The engineering that I study is all about structure, it's all about balancing the scale and all that. So I still think that might work. I'm not going to force it on anybody, but I think that might work. So Vicky says Lagos is too congested and overpopulated. Train and waterway system, if constructed. Yeah, that's another way. Waterway that I did mention. That's another way. Secured waterway transport, because Lagos is surrounded by water. Why are we not using? Why are we not using proper waterways? And then automatically from the riverside to the main road, you do all of the link road and fix them properly. You see how all of these things will be fine. But if, for instance, there is a waterfront road from VI all the way to Ekpe, somebody living in Ogombo will not need to take the Lekki Ajah Expressway. Just take inside and then go to your house. But hey, yeah, we have. And then we're not responsive. Again, in Lagos, we're not responsive in dealing with potholes because government does not respond to complaints from citizens. Government does not respond to complaints from citizens. They always want it to go back. And that's because government actually does not value the work of the people. If man-hour is very, very important in Lagos, in Nigeria, like it is in every other part of the world, you would know that there is a team that's responsible for fixing road when the sands are spilling over into the road, and then also allow people to be able to fix road without getting attacked by area boys, without getting attacked and then extorted by local council and the rest of them. I think that's another way that it can be fixed across the whole the length and breadth of the country. Everything does not have to be with driving. Okay, driving, everybody's driving. My knee hurts. I've got total of 24 screws in my left knee, and to fold that leg for that long yesterday, it's killing me. Precious Emenike 001, they say, how can a country like Nigeria have only one working seaport and two international airports? It's very bad for any nation. Each region should have a seaport. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. For a country that wants to grow, and there should be international airport everywhere. Imagine somebody is living in Delta State, wants to travel abroad. He has to come to either Lagos or Abuja. What sense does it make? Why can't they have an international airport in Port Harcourt? Okay, if you don't even have a Delta, why can't they have one in Port Harcourt or somewhere around that region? And then you can fly from there and go where you're going. Why does everybody have to come to Lagos? It's crazy. Okay, we design the country to fail. It's not like we can't say, well, the design has made it that the country must fail. So we should just change the design and redesign the nation and redistribute resources and infrastructure. Redistribute the infrastructure, and we're good. After all, we generate more money, we spend more money, the money still in the system. You can't say if there's a seaport in Warri and it's working, the Delta State will become richer than Nigeria. No. All the money still goes to the bank. The bank still, all of the debit, all the charges still work the same with the distribution of the way the CBN still collect the charges that they collect. So nobody in Warri now would be struggling to want to come and stay in Lagos. I mean, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s, who they worry they also come to Lagos? No, it's not a thing. There is NISCO, Mandemot, Nigeria Dredges, Steelways, Halliburton, MBTC, there is MPA, Panapina, all of those companies. They share, there's NNPC, there's Chevron or Gulf, whatever you call them. They were all there, and all the boat companies, they were all there. And people were working. So there's no, I want to go Lagos, go hustle. Also where? It wasn't there. Even visa lottery was not a thing with us. It was a Benin thing, but it's not a really, really worried thing that time. But look at it today. Everybody wants to come to Lagos. Every single day I get requests of people calling me, bros, I want to come to Lagos. I'm not going to have a staff. I said, no, I'm married. I have children. I don't want anybody coming to stay in my house. I'm sorry. On that one, I'm wicked. I'm mean. I want to come and no. Nobody stays in my house, please. I don't. I've done that when I was single. I've done enough. At least I've done more than that. I'm not doing more anymore. You understand? That's the thing. Okay, let me go further down. Lord Mayor said, how do you see the accusation on party when there is no proof yet? What is the accusation? I've not read it. I've not seen it. I can't lie to you. Please share a thought on it. Let us know what the accusation is, and we can discuss it. And then Lord Mayor said, Chelsea is suffering from not having a sporting director, no direction, hijacking unnecessary deals, and all that. Dijala Ufoma, Mingo Bros, Brendo, good to be live again. Yes, okay. Divine Tonke said, good morning, bros. I really don't know about Sterling and even CR7's bid right now. The story is that Tuchel likes Sterling, but I don't see Sterling as a need. I leave Cristiano Ronaldo's decision down to Thomas Tuchel. Okay, thank you very much for that one. And we go further down on the conversation. And Digital myself say Sterling is not a need. However, if they are selling those wingers that have been inconsistent, it's not a problem. And then Lord Mayor says Bernardo Silva, Bernardo would only go to Barca or Madrid. Man City will replace him for sure. But is he really replaceable? That guy does look to me like an irreplaceable player right now. Okay. And then Adisha Lafuma said, for Ronaldo, Chelsea so have a focus on getting the right player for their system. They should not buy because he is just available. Chelsea plays a pressing game, and number 9 is part of the defensive shape. Ronaldo will not press for you. Forget about it. If it is that one, it's not the number 9 that will press. It's a non-pressing number 9. Lord Mayor, he said, I feel that Sterling wage will cause issue later in Chelsea. 300K per week. Lord Mayor says Arsenal secret business is legendary. Many journalists they fear Edu scouting. Yes, I like it. I like the way he's gone about it. He talks, he doesn't say anything, and then at the end of the day, he just pops up with a signing. And the Arsenal will lead you to one direction, make you feel like, oh, they are going to sign Jumbo. Meanwhile, they're not even negotiating with Jumbo, but they just give you a leak. They will let what do I call it now? They'll let the media people get a leak that, oh, we're pursuing Jumbo. In real sense, they are pursuing on the other side, and they go and sign the player and then unveil it. But then there are some that they just couldn't hide, like the Gnabry do, and I understand why that is, because Man City is a big club. You can't be leaving Man City and the news will not go out. So that's why. Precious MNK 001 says, let me go, okay. Says, why are Chelsea fans complaining about Sterling wages? He was receiving same amount in City. You don't expect him to collect less at Chelsea. No, they're just complaining that it might cause problem. That's it, like Alexis Sanchez's salary that caused problem for Manchester United. Okay, so Vicky said Man City will miss Bernardo Silva if they let him go. I think so too. Okay, and Noah Turin, my Juventus friend. How are you? Hey man, I hope you're well. I am well, but I'm broke. I'm going to be forming big my hair again. I'm broke. I have too many people taking off me, and I don't have as much coming in. So it's breaking me down. I'm not using the. I'm not depressed. Somebody asked me yesterday if I'm depressed. I'm not depressed. This girl is just here harassing me with her whole look, her whole bum, everything. My 3-year-old son is not saying, hey, Tasha, come back. He's saying, tissue to bum. I don't know where he learned that one. Maybe he learned it from school. If you just say tissue, say tissue to bum. I say, yeah. Wow. Okay, and that's just it anyway. It says, and I hope you are also somewhat positive about Juve this coming season. I wish I could say that. But they have not done their business. So let's wait till they have done their business, and then we can have a conversation around it. They're not done with their business, but I think that Pogba have an uncle. He have a point to prove. He's 29. He's got a point to prove, and I think he's going to prove the point in such a beastly way that Man United will wonder what really happened. Pogba will go to Juventus and want to show to everybody that Man United was the problem and not him. I just think that's going to happen. And if that happens, it clicks at Juventus and a few other players. They get in the right mix of players. Juventus they just might be back. The old ladies are going to sing again. That's what I think. That's what I think anyway. Real Toldan _Fash. You say, what can you say about Liverpool signing so far? All the signings are good, but they're not going to win the league title. I don't think they will win it, and I also think that they will not push Man City as close as they did last season. I don't think so. But Liverpool's got some fantastic signings already. And the thing is, Jurgen Klopp hardly gets a bad signing. Maybe he will get, out of 10 signings, you are allowed to make 4 or 3 bad signings. For Jurgen Klopp, it is 1 bad signing in 10. So he hardly gets them wrong. Every player he gets in, if they don't get in immediately, later you will see them fitting in and solving problems. He hardly gets his team signing wrong. So I've got faith in him, but I don't think they will win. I mean, you can't have Guardiola in the league and you'll be thinking another team will win it. Precious MNK 001, he said, is Sterling a positive plus for Chelsea? That's the question that I asked. I'm not going to be the one answering that question. I think you need to read other people's response and also the response of it. I will say my own later, but that's the question I asked. So that's the question that I want everybody to talk about. I'm asking Chelsea fans. Is Raheem Sterling a need? Is that the player that you guys need right now? Like, oh, we need this player, I will go for him. Or you're just signing him because, okay, let's just try our luck and see what happens. And all of a sudden, Man City are selling players and making good money. Nobody's talking about it again. You know, you used to say, oh, Pep Guardiola is buying result. He's making profit he's making money for the team. And to think that they signed Haaland, less than 60 million. Haaland? And Grealish is 100 million. I won't pay 20 million for Grealish. I don't care what anybody says. I know because I'm hating, but I won't pay 20 million for Grealish. Dijala Ufoma says Super Falcons will still be my pride. Sharp knuckles, correct guy. He says Super Falcons will still be my pride. They have been the most consistent, even with the shabby planning for the women football. If they crash out, it should be on the failure of the administrators. No, I won't even blame the administrators on this. I'll blame the coach. I think that we got a coach that's not good. It's our time we accept that the ex-Falcons players are still the best coaches that we need in the team. Yes, they might be petty. Women are always going to be. Some women are also going to be petty. But we can forgive them for the performance and the result that they've achieved with us. Farami 14, they say, I am not sure anything Pogba does with Juve this season will have Man U jealous. Unless he does that in the UEFA Champions League, people will just conclude Italy is his comfort zone. Same with Lukaku. No, they'll be jealous if they play. If he puts up a play that gives you guys thinking, okay? You would people will be jealous. Which one again? People just create a WhatsApp group and just decide to add people in the group. I don't understand. Like, who does that? That's crazy, man. Somebody created a group and put us in, say, sex room. What's he concerning us with sex room? Are you crazy? I don't understand this shit, man. No. Just because we call our number in public and everybody think, okay, you can just. I don't understand. That's why put our company number in one WhatsApp group called Sex Room. Sex Room where? My voice, respect yourself. Okay, this one is coming from who's this now? Please, okay, Tango Yangwe. Okay. Tango says, morning. This Elevator TV app is super. I'm just enjoying it. Thank you very much. Connecting to my sound system and its data economy. Keep flying higher, boss. Thank you very much for that one. Okay, so additionally, I said the Super Falcons, even if they crash out. Okay, I've read that one. Bola Larry, he said Chelsea will be missing the mark with Sterling or Cristiano Ronaldo. Sterling might not give the expected returns at Chelsea. However, jumping on the Bernardo Silva deal, if he is leaving Man City, Man City would be a better. I don't understand that. Maybe you could write it again. I didn't get it properly. He said best way to solve Lagos traffic, train is as simple as having other viable means of transportation. Lord Mayor, he said we'll fly over, solve it, fly over to where? Fly over from where to where? The flyover, will he take the buses that are driving anyhow and all that? No, flyover will not solve it. Big city development, big cities depend on train services. Big cities depend on public transport system. There are too many people driving on the road. That's the biggest problem. There are too many people driving on the road. So if we have a train, one train can carry close to, I don't know, over 200 people. So if you have 5 trains carrying over 200 people, that's over 1,000 people on the stretch of the road. So 1,000 vehicles are off the road already. 1,000 possible vehicles are off the road, and the BRT transport is also working, and then there's the waterways that are working and functioning well regulated. I think it would reduce it and it'll be nice. And then we also have to learn how to be clean because it's too dirty. Jesus Christ. Okay, Sapai Edrizu, he says, nice work, Elegote, keep up. Since Brilla, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. And okay, where do we start now? Olaiwaju Abdul say, and development needs to be evenly dispersed in Nigeria. I agree with you completely. Noah Turin, he said, I have an idea. How do you feel? What's the idea? Okay, let me know what the idea is. Divine Tonke say Ayatori versus Kevin De Bruyne. Who is the better or more complete? It's Ayatori. Ayatori is the best midfielder to ever play in the Premier League. The best midfielder to ever play in the Premier League. I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm a diehard fan of Patrick Vieira. So understand this thing that I'm saying. Yaya Toure is the best midfielder ever since 1992 up to now in the Premier League era. And I'm saying this because I've watched the Premier League from that time to now. I'm not because I'm an Arsenal fan, I only watch Arsenal. No, I've watched every team that played in the Premier League, at least 50% of their games. Recorded, replays, at least minimum 50. Some teams I've watched as much as I watch Arsenal games. Okay, maybe now I don't even watch matches more. Back in the day, the only thing I do is watch football. There's not a midfielder from Andres Limpa to Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. Okay, I mentioned Frank Lampard before. Deco, Ballack, Mata, every midfielder that have played in the Premier League, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, Kevin De Bruyne, Emmanuel Petit, just name it. Everyone, Eriksen, I think every midfielder that have played in the Premier League, Yaya Toure does them hands down, like beat them hands down. And let me break it down. Yaya Toure originally is a defensive midfielder. So of all the defensive midfielders that have played in the Premier League, only one come close to him. That's Patrick Vieira. Every other one is way behind him in the Premier League. Now, when it comes to passes, he does short passes as good as anybody. He does long passes as better than any other person. He can shoot with both foot. He can body slam anybody. He can tackle very, very well. He can slot into that center back position and nobody comes close to him. And then when it comes to going forward, he scores free kick way better than some of the attacking midfielders that have played in the midfield. In the Premier League era, he can head very well, he can shoot very well, he scores goals from every side of the field, he tracks back, he marks, his tackles are cleaner than any other defensive midfielder that you've ever had in the Premier League. So, in terms of complete, based on the question that you asked, Yaya Toure is up there. Kevin De Bruyne, let me tell you something about Kevin De Bruyne, and if you go back and go and watch him, because I love it. Makelele, you say Makelele, what of Makelele? Makelele does not score goal, he does not pass. He's the best policeman. He's the king of checkpoint in world defensive midfield. But I'm talking about complete. This guy's question is complete. So he's comparing a defensive midfielder with an offensive midfielder. So the work that Kevin De Bruyne does is passing, right? Yaya Toure can pass. Maybe not as good as Kevin De Bruyne, but Kevin De Bruyne cannot defend to save his life. So let's say, for instance, you have a complete team and you have Kevin De Bruyne remaining and Yaya Toure remaining, but your defensive midfield is not solid, your offensive midfield is not solid. You have only one to choose. You choose Yaya Toure because it gives you 45% of what Kevin De Bruyne will give you offensively and gives you 1,000% of what any other defensive midfielder will give you defensively. And it could also slot in into your centre back. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Yaya Toure does not have a rival. He doesn't have a mate in that midfield. There's nobody on his level. There's nobody on his league. Before Yaya Toure, it was Patrick Vieira, but there's nobody on his level. Okay, Lord Mayor, it was said that police arrested a player that plays in North London club, and he says he in Burnett and he's 29 years old for rape, and until they prove that. See, when they bring up this rape talk, that's their own personal thing. If naive, and that's not have to move on. I mean, it's something I can do. I don't get involved in rape matter. Police can investigate and then come out with their own matter. But rape matters are always taken serious across those parts of the world. Lord Mayor says allegations for 2 different rape victims. For English fans, were saying it's party, and also reports say he didn't travel with the squad to Germany for preseason. Then so be it. If it is in, then Arsenal have to move on and go get another player and move on. Look, Divine, he said Yaya is a better player, is more complete. And there's nobody on his level. Like in midfield, nobody. Akimbola Larry, he said, I think Chelsea going for Bernardo Silva is better than going for Raheem Sterling. Bernardo Silva will not go to Chelsea. We guarantee them better goal return. Bernardo Silva is not going to Chelsea. He says he only wants to play for Barcelona. It's another Raphinha. Divine okay, he said, then what's Pep's problem with Yaya? Pep does not have a problem. The Pep tell you they have a problem. All this stuff that we're talking about, Pep coached Yaya Toure in 2 different clubs, and they both won titles together. The media, we are just creating problems. He retired under Pep. Let's not forget that one. So I don't understand all of this talk about Pep having a problem. If people are just creating problems when it's not. The fact that they don't smile together, they don't kiss and hug in public, doesn't change anything. Yaya Toure played under Pep, 1 titles in England, 1 titles in Spain. I don't want to deal with that whole conversation of this Pep, that. No, I don't think it's just a figment of people's imagination or a media creation. Let's move on. Yaya Toure is trying to be a coach now. Very soon he would understand the challenges that coaches also face in picking players. Okay, it's easy when you're the player, you get angry and you do all those things that you do. But when you become a coach, you realize Thierry Henry went to coach in America and he said he was shocked that players questioned his selection. That's something he's never. He never did as a player. If the coach puts you on the bench, you're on the bench. If coach is not picking you, he's not picking you. He doesn't owe you an explanation. He went to coach in Monaco. Players had to question him why they're not playing. And then he went to America, it was worse. So sometimes what you think you know as a player is different from what you will not find out as a coach. But let's see how it goes. A teacher Former said that Yaya Toure is the best complete midfielder in the EPL. You are spot on. Not ever. Pascals, Patrick Vieira, he was the complete package from winning tackles to passes, assist, score with the leg, head, free kick. Man, see, I watch Yaya Toure, and every time I watch him, I was like, oh, God. There were two Toure and Arsenal went for Kolo instead of them to go for Yaya. And then to think that this Yaya actually came to Arsenal for trials. I was begging to be signed. Oh, blood of God. Well, as a Wenger, I greet you. You did it again. I call it my son. You did it. As a Wenger, you did it. In the voice of Tiger. I'm going to say, my son's birthday is next week Wednesday. God, help me. Help me. God, I need you. You say, call upon me in the time of trouble. I'm in trouble. Oh. Okay, teacher he said he is great, both a defensive and an offensive midfielder. It will be my first pick. Scores with the head, leg, open play, free kick. He is poetic with the ball. I don't think that there's anybody on Yaya Toure's level from midfield. I'm not saying this because he's African. And, people have actually accused me that I don't like African players. Lukaku, according to my friend Martins Otsuya, that's a great guy. And then they just opened a grill shop somewhere. I've forgotten the neighborhood now, but around this Ajax axis. If you could type it there, just type it, please. It's a good grill shop that you can, if you need to eat good grill. I think that's a place that you should go. Lukaku just run us for Inter. Hashtag justice for Chelsea. That is nowhere. Please go and drink some. Go and do some grilling. Get out of here. My regards to your lovely wife and wonderful Ajebota children. Oh God, these guys' children, they're so soft. They're like marshmallow. So Ajeboyish. So me. Additional say is the great. Okay, I think I've read that one. Yeah, for me, Yaya Toure is the best midfielder to play in the Premier League. Let's look at some of the transfer story. Okay, so let me give you my thought on the Raheem Sterling question that I raised. I think that because of the quality of the wingers that Chelsea's got, Raheem Sterling, if you look at Raheem Sterling's time at Liverpool, it wasn't that good until Suarez and maybe Felipe Coutinho came in. Raheem Sterling plays well when he's got a group of people around him that can play the yo-yo, the give and go, or what we call 1-2 here. When he runs into the channel, they'll give him the ball. If you look at the players in Chelsea right now, they hold on to the pass a tad bit too long. The Cement, Ross Barkley, and the rest of the guys. They hold the pass a tad bit too long. And Raheem Sterling easily gets frustrated. His body language will tell you. He easily gets frustrated. If he runs into offside position 2, 3, 4 times before you give him the ball, next time you see him not running again, he'll be facing the crowd, he'll be strolling, he'll be scratching his head. That's one thing that Alex will be used to do. So that might just be something that will take him 2 or 3 seasons to fit into the Chelsea team. My question is, does Chelsea have that time to win now? And then coming from Man City, where he's a title winner, it would not feel like it is his fault, but rather feel like it's the team's fault. That's exactly what happened with Lukaku. Lukaku felt like, I've arrived, I went to Italy, I won the league title, so you should respect me. Anywhere I want the ball, you should give it to me. I score for fun in Italy. But that didn't happen in the Premier League. And then he went to go and do that interview. And if you look at Raheem Sterling is capable of doing a Lukaku on Chelsea. I wouldn't advise if they had said Arsenal wanted to sign him, I'd say no. Because he would play matches, he's another Aubameyang. He will play matches and he might not deliver, and you'll be worried that you can't take him off. Okay? You'll be trying to please him because of his big salary, big sign-on, and all that. That might just be a problem. Chelsea is in a rebuild. They should just start a rebuild well. I'm not one who trusts a lot of English players. There are some English players that are good, but I don't trust English players that much. And I think that Raheem Sterling is at that Aaron Ramsey position right now, where he just needs a club that will make him be able to go to the World Cup. Not necessarily because he wants to do anything for the club. So he would play from August to the end of October, go to the national team camp, make the World Cup squad. And then when he comes back, Chelsea might just realize that they've signed a player who's just there to take the money and nothing more, who will play not to kill himself. If he goes well, if you have a great game, you will see it. But not the kind of guy that will play every single day, I want to kill himself. And that's what Chelsea need right now. Somebody that will play for the badge and put their life on the line for the team because it's a rebuild. And in a rebuild, you need everybody to step up. If you look at Saka last season for Arsenal, somewhere towards the end of the season, he got tired. But you know that every single day he was playing for his life. That's the kind of players that Chelsea need right now. Not somebody that will come in and give you this feeling of I'm a sheep, right? I'm a lord. If he doesn't play well, you have the team to blame. Like, oh, you can't come, go and ask them in Man City how good I was. So don't come here and blame me. I cannot just go bad overnight. There must be something wrong with the team. You don't need that. It would do a Pogba on Chelsea. So I don't think they need it. For Cristiano Ronaldo, like I've always said, that it's not a player that I can criticize. I don't have the right. It's Cristiano Ronaldo is above my pay grade. I can't criticize him. But this is what I'm going to say. Cristiano Ronaldo will damage the team because the quality in the team, you look at Juventus, look at Man United, and then come to Chelsea. The quality keep depreciating. So the quality in Chelsea right now is worse than what he had at Juventus, worse than what he's played with at Man United. And it doesn't look like Chelsea is going to do a complete overhaul of maybe 7 to 8 players and bring in all the stars and, running the cavalries and bringing the A team and signing Liam Neeson and the rest of them. So it's gonna be difficult. He's not the Optimus Prime that would come and change the whole situation and transform Chelsea into that big hole. Why not? And even if you sign him now, another 2 seasons is gone. He's definitely not going to win the league title for you this season and next season. It's not going to win Champions League for you. What Ronaldo needs to secure. Ronaldo is looking for a space to secure his legacy in the Champions League as the all-time highest goal scorer, knowing fully well that the closest person to him will not also stay long to retire. So if he plays in the Champions League, he can add some 10 goals in the next 2 or so seasons, and that will put him. The gap between him and Lionel Messi right now is about 15 goals, if I'm not mistaken. Given the way Paris Saint-Germain are going, and Messi might score in the Champions League and keep closing that gap. So he needs a Champions League club that will enable him. Since Bayern have come out to say, God forbid, Allah Majah, we don't need that one. The Paris Saint-Germain said, no, Larry Bell, carry your load yourself. We don't want you. He's not caught in this whole new owners of Chelsea. I think it's going to be a problem for Chelsea. It would come out in Champions League night and give you those kind of performances. Why you're like, whoa, give you orgasm. By the end of the day, a side chick is a side chick, it's not your wife. So Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be your side chick, but not your wife. You would eventually might end up wrecking your marriage, put you on social media, put you on blast, and wreck your name. So I don't think that Cristiano Ronaldo is what Chelsea need. Cristiano Ronaldo needs to go to the US or go somewhere out of Europe, but definitely there's no big club in Europe right now that needs him. It's not damaged goods, okay? It's damaged goods because it's a little bit toxic to the team. So, but if Chelsea say they want to give it a try, why not? Let's see. If they couldn't fix Lukaku, who is less toxic than Cristiano Ronaldo, I wonder whether they can handle that one. But it does sound like, people say, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're jealous of Chelsea, you don't want them to have big players, you don't want them to wreck you. Well, no matter how much they play against Arsenal, they're going to play them twice in the league. Arsenal can afford to lose 2 games and still be a good side. After they lost their first 3 games in the league last season, they did not go relegation, so it's not a big deal. Okay, Papa Jumal says, good morning, boss. Can we say Yaya Toure is the most complete midfielder across Europe? Across Europe. Clarence was incredible. But he could not defend to save his life. Matheus Sama was great. Fernando Redondo, amazing. Across Europe, no. Across Europe, no. Andrea Pello. No. Across Europe, that battle would be no. It's not. Tony Cruz is there. There's a whole lot of other players that will put that challenge. But in the Premier League, it's easy to put down. But across Europe, across the whole of Europe, nah. There's a lot of midfielders that have come. The thing is, because in the Premier League, you've not had players that are really over the top, kind of like, why you? And then the one that came in at Bolton Wanderers, Okosha, his football was negative, okay? Was not playing, that's not football, okay? If you look at all the players that have played in the Premier League, there is none that can lace the boot of Zidane. So Zidane might not be your defensive midfielder, but what he does offensively overcompensate for what he doesn't do defensively. So you cannot say that Yaya Toure is a complete midfielder because what Zidane brings to you, Mm-mm. We can't say that. We can't. Omo Odu, he said Sterling will give Chelsea at Ikshani. Okay, that's what he says. And Matters Atuya, I say Chelsea don't need Sterling. We need a striker like Costa. We have fantastic wingers. Chelsea suffered when our wing backs got injured. Fact. You cannot argue against that. You cannot argue against that. So let's look at, well, which 1 hour just now. Let's look at the transfer gist, the rumors that are making the headlines. And first off, let me look at what they're saying in Italy, and then I'll come over to the transfer stories and then the headlines. Bayern Munich are ready to increase offer for Juventus Matheus Nunes. Some people say they already have a deal in place for Matheus Nunes. Well, it does look like it's not going to work. Man United, Chelsea. I thought people said you were buying Matheus Nunes. Former Barcelona star Gerard Deulofeu waiting for Napoli. Okay. Sergio Oliveira edging towards Galatasaray after he left Roma. And Napoli's identified 2 potential replacements for Kalidou Koulibaly. So eventually this player is really going to go. Juventus hold meeting with entourage of Napoli's Kalidou Koulibaly. So my friend that is asking about Juventus, you see why I said we should wait and see what goes on within the transfer market space for Juventus. You can write Juventus off. That probably be the sickest mistake anybody will make, to just wake up and say, oh, Juventus are dead. They are not good enough. Okay, you would wake up and then you get the shock of your life. So we've got to be able to be patient on this one and see how it goes. Because at the end of the day, I think that Juventus have money, have resources, have the star power to draw in players. They're still going to play in the Champions League. So they've got enough to draw in players into their reign, and then those players will make it happen. Okay, so the headlines in Daily Mail in England are saying Manchester City and Liverpool look even more dangerous. Spurs and Arsenal have been busy, but United will be panicking. Okay, so yesterday they said United needs a miracle. They were talking about the players that everybody needs, and when they got to United, they said they need a miracle. Now today again, they say they'll be panicking. Hard teams are shaping up with just 1 month until the new season starts. Remember, it's going to be starting on the 7th of August. So, okay. Jack Grealish went to Greece to have some fun in Athens, and he was showing all his abs, all his 6-pack, 17, 25 packs. But Jack Grealish, well, let me not say. Okay, so the Wimbledon, Raphinha ignored pleas from his father and sister to quit his Wimbledon quarterfinal as he battled abdominal pain before rowing back to beat Taylor Fritz in 5 sets as Spinner says center court energy got him through. Okay, and then there is also the talk of Raheem Sterling agreed personal terms with Chelsea as he moves a step closer to £55 million move. 55 million for Raheem Sterling. While Arsenal and Man United continue tug of war over his for $3 million rated star Lisandro Martinez. I don't think Arsenal even need that player. There are other players that they can go and get, but hey, it is what it is. Manchester United are ready to sell Cristiano Ronaldo after caving into his transfer demand as the club realized they can't keep him against his will, with the Portuguese star failing to turn up to training for the 3rd straight day. That's Cristiano Ronaldo for you. He always thinks that the world revolves around him. But like I've said, I don't have the right to criticize him. Ajax are bracing for new offer from Manchester United and Arsenal for Lisandro Martinez, with both sides entering a bidding war as Dutch Asfield hold out for £43 million. Wait a minute. Why is Arsenal going for this old thing like if they don't sign him, they'll die? Chelsea finally released their new home kit 4 weeks before the kickoff, campaign against their kickoff campaign against Everton, with the design paying tribute to the legendary former manager Ted Drake. But fans are divided over its controversial turquoise and white color. And I know fans will always have their opinion. The company don't design what they want design. And they get their own going. Arsenal are keeping tabs on Benfica defender Alex Grimaldo. I think Arsenal should forget about Martinez and go get Grimaldo, with Mikel Arteta eager to secure cover for Antony at left back as a deal for Lisandro Martinez is likely to fall through. Raheem Sterling on the brink of stunning £55 million switch to Chelsea after agreeing personal terms, having told Manchester City he wants to leave, with England stars set to become Todd Bowley's first buy. let's forget about that one and let's look at all the transfer rumor, the gist that is going on. Arsenal are confident of beating Manchester United to the 30 million pound signing of Leicester City's 25-year-old Belgian midfielder Youri Tielemans. They should do it fast. Manchester United have made a 51 million pounds bid for Ajax, 22-year-old Brazilian forward Antony, but the Dutch club are holding out for 68 million pounds. Jehovah. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Okay, Manchester United still do not know when Portugal forward Cristiano Ronaldo, 37, will return to training as the Old Trafford club prepare to leave for their preseason tour to Thailand to go and eat funny food, okay, for Friday. Bayern Munich director Oliver Kahn says a move for Ronaldo will not fit in with the German club's philosophy. We don't want that kind of player. We don't want you. We don't want you. All say no to Cristiano. Well, Chelsea are preparing a 38 million pounds bid for Sporting Lisbon 23-year-old Portugal midfielder Matheus Nunes, who is also a target for Wolves. Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, excuse me. Barcelona are considering Argentine left back Nicolas Tagliafico, plays for Ajax, if I'm not mistaken. Again, in case they cannot sign Spain defender Marcos Alonso, 31, from Chelsea. Everton are set to offer England on the 21 winger Antony Gordon, 21, a new contract to ward off interest from Newcastle. Right? Newcastle stay away. Why are you not signing good players for your money? The Toffees also have no intention of selling England striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and they may offer the 25-year-old a new deal. Arsenal are looking to sell 7 players, including Ivory Coast winger and club record signing Nicolas Pepe, 27. When I told all of you guys that this guy not sabi play ball, when I say I'm not sabi talk, as he will prove me wrong, will prove me wrong. How many years he done in the club? See, football, some people sabi am. Everybody get what they sabi. First touch on the ball, I said this one is sabi ball. There's nothing in this world that can change it. Nothing about his game change. People say I don't know what I'm saying. Say I'm now. It's on the list of the people. The first name on the list is him. And German goalkeeper Leno never go in order to fund spending on further new signings. When I was explaining to people that it's because of these players that have not been sold that they are struggling to sign players, people don't understand what I'm saying. Fulham are in talks with the Gunners over a deal for 30-year-old Leno. Please take any money. Any money will sell. Leeds United have urged Barcelona to make a final offer for Raphinha this week as they want the 25-year-old Brazilian forward future resolved as soon as possible so that they can also sign in players. Let's not forget that this season is starting like 2 weeks earlier than it normally would. Crystal Palace are hopeful of beating Everton and Nottingham Forest for the signing of Wolves 22-year-old English midfielder Morgan Gibbs White, as the case is. Palace are in talks to sign Swansea English midfielder Flynn Dons, 23 for 8 million. Cheap players. Okay, and they'll go shock Arsenal at the end of the day. Those kind of players. Arsenal will do the strong one. But West Ham are also discussing a deal for Donis, who was a boyhood Armour fan. Okay, Tottenham are closing in on a 50 million pound signing of 21-year-old on the 21 fullback Jet Spence from Middlesbrough. All the money that Spurs did not spend over the years, they are going to spend it this window. Until the you get power, your juju man, it will work. Mauricio Pochettino will be looking at until the to say, Baba Afana, show me the will. And this guy might not even take them to the finals of the Champions League. He will not even. This life is not fair. Life is not balanced. Nottingham Forest are hoping to complete the deals for Bayern Munich's English left back Omar Richard, 24, and Liverpool's 21-year-old Wales right back Nico Williams at the weekend. Southampton are also interested in Williams and hope to beat Forest to the defender's signature. Those of you who said that Taiwan shouldn't go to Forest, you see that they are making effort to make sure that the team is solid enough to stay in the Premier League. Club Brugge have rejected a bid from Leeds for 21-year-old Belgian midfielder Charles de Ketelaere, okay, who would prefer to move to AC Milan. England midfielder Jesse Lingard, 29, is set to fly to the United States to hold talks with 2 major league soccer sides following his release by Manchester United. Did I not tell you guys that nobody would sign him in the Premier League? This boy is overrating himself. Only Arsenal body for the strong. Thunder fire him. Okay, England's player will receive £55,000 bonus per player if they win the Women's European Championship. Okay, that's a good one. Sweden. Okay, so £55,000. £55,000. Players get that. Falcons players, they make more money. Swedish striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic has taken a wage cut to sign a new 1-year deal with AC, the Italian champion AC Milan. But he will not play for God knows for like the whole half of the season or even more because of that is me. But he's done enough to earn it, and you can't begrudge him on that one. Right? Yes, we've reached the finish line. You remember I started 5 minutes late, so I thought I should also balance the book and give it back to everybody. Um, Lord Mayor say Mikel was so unlucky that Yaya was nominated for 2013 CAF Award with okay. When I saw Yaya there, I already knew he will win it. I remember that award caused trouble when I was working in Brilla because the previous day, our chairman Arizamoji had given an interview and said Yaya Toure was robbed. So I didn't know, but it wasn't a big deal anyway because I would still have said the same thing. And I came to work, Antony asked me, do I think that Yaya Toure was robbed? And I said, anybody who talks say Yaya Toure was robbed, person needs to get his head examined. And then he now played the chairman's voice. And I was like, and you know, at that point, it would have been awkward if I not changed my mind. Like, oh, I didn't know it was the chairman. I said, chairman needs to go check it. You need to go meet the doctor. You need to fly abroad and go and check his head because to even think a problem. And chairman came to work that morning and looked at me and said, you say I should go and get my head checked. I said, chairman, you're not supposed to invest. This is the job that we do. If somebody else has said this thing, I said it, the person not going to drive, so you have to just take it. The bullet hit you this time, just bear him. I said the matter to me. Yeah, he looked at me, and he came with his wife, and his wife is like my big sister, like, look at me. I was like, I beg you. I mean, crazy, right? I mean, very, very crazy in somewhat of ways. But I find then my staff, they mark me for radio. I didn't invest. I don't know why that didn't even invest people that I said. Okay, let me say Chelsea won't use CR7 will make money and a lot of endorsement. That they never get that power again. That's the power that I feel say Poch is underrated. Poch not sabi coach. It's not underrated. He not sabi. Please don't bring that talk here. Just he had a good generation of players at sports, not win anything. Which be is underrated. Struggle to win. The worst title that price. Please. Say I have enough pissing me off, enough pain on my body right now, enough load on my shoulder. Please. Where is my guy? Noel Turin. You said you wanted to. You say, hey man, I hope you're okay. No, that's not where you said it. Idea. I say I have an idea. How you feel? Okay, so what's the idea? I don't know. You didn't tell me what the idea is. I don't know what it is, but if you want to continue, let me know. Well, at this point, we're going to pack our bags and baggages and go. Thank you very much for everybody that joined in on the show today. Tomorrow is another day. I didn't get messages on WhatsApp today. First time. Okay, I got only one from a young way. And thank you very much for every one of you that joined in on the show today. Lord Mayor, you see, now my guy, I need supporter. Okay, Pochettino is your guy. I got a Bori and Legbere coach. Not sabi anything. And Mugu, Mukites. Okay, thank you very much for your time. God bless you. And if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe. Help us to grow. And the burden of running this thing is hitting me hard. And please, when you watch our content, the contents that we're putting on, and we're making sacrifice, we're trying very hard to put the content. Please comment on the content now. Show all those content that we're putting on. Now some I don't hate it. You'll see like many views, no comment. Come like saying and ghost they watch those things. Please drop a comment, tell us what you think. Let's just create a community that is very active and good. Wouldn't you be happy if one day we are doing the kind of things that Arsenal Fan TV is doing or Fabrizio Romano's channel is doing? Wouldn't you be happy? Because it will also help. You never can tell your brother, your person, your friend, somebody you know might just get a job here. But the only way that happens is if we create this ecosystem and really push it as hard as we can. I know that everybody have their own personal life to live, their own personal business. But you see, the thing about life is somewhere down the road, our personal life will not, meet again and cross each other. Or maybe for the sake of our children, for the sake of our friends and all that. So let's grow this thing together. And it might just come back to help us again tomorrow. God bless you and have a wonderful day. My name is David Matheus. I know you love to come in there on the spot. It's been fun from me. I don't know about you, but God bless you. And Lord Mayor, finally, you said, thanks, boss. I did enjoy your show. God bless you, boss. God bless you too. Bye-bye, and have yourself an amazing and fantastic day.